Hail my lords and ladies! Middle-earth Shadow of War is the sequel to the game Shadow of Mordor, in which we learn about Talion, the ranger from Gondor, and Celebrimbor, the Offload to help forge the Rings of Power. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 game elements of Shadow of War and also deciding if it's worth playing. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Shadow of War offers an excellent action RPG gameplay experience that brings back the feel of being a sword god amongst men in the first game while also adding new layers of difficulty and features to make the game both worthwhile and entertaining. The combat system in Shadow of War is great as expected. It brings back abilities we knew and loved from the first game such as Shadow Strike and Ice Blast, and incorporates a good chunk of new skills for us to explore and enjoy. We get several new regions to explore over the course of the game, including the Forest of Nirnan and Minas Ithil, Fortress of Gondor. Shadow of War also incorporates new challenges for us to tackle, such as the Shadows of the Past, Ithilden Doors, and more to keep you occupied on your journey. I rarely found a time when there wasn't something to do in this game, and if you're going for 100% completion like I was, you'll find yourself getting at least 50 to 60 hours out of the first playthrough. And the nice thing about the game is no playthrough is ever the same, thanks to the Orcs. The Orcs really add a lot to the game. In Shadow of Mordor, sometimes they just felt like mini bosses that you could kill and be done with without any significant impact. But in Shadow of War, each and every Orc captain, war chief, and overlord is different. With their own unique personalities, strengths, and weaknesses, some will sing you a song.
You may have heard of one like me. It prances, dances, and sings with glee. Wherever there's strife, the singer is there. He slaughters and slays with such merry flair. I sing this song with all my breath. Take heed, for this interlude ends with your death.
Or recite a poem.
We strive.
Or they might even just scream at you. And there's also some that'll just go completely insane. It's for this reason that Shadow of War's replayability is very good. It is, of course, until you reach the end of the 3rd act, but we'll get to that later. To put it plainly, and without spoiling it, Shadow of War's story takes you on a roller coaster of awesomeness in Middle-earth. Along this journey, you'll meet great characters such as Shelob, Spirit of Carnan, Altariel, and more. Even though there are fewer characters to meet than you would in most games, in my opinion, each one presents more of an impact to make up for it. You really feel the intensity of their storylines and are left with memorable experiences from each one. Not to mention the voicing is great, as well as the dialogue, especially with Carnan.
Great spirit of Carnan!
Cease all cry and clamor!
Oh god, with that accent she could start a war. The graphics in this game are phenomenal. A side-by-side comparison of Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War is a clear distinction of how much it's improved. We've been known to expect a lot in 2017 when it comes to the graphics of games, and I do believe Shadow of War has met that quota and gone beyond with these visuals. Asking the question, is Shadow of War a fun game, is an easy question to answer. Yes, yes it most certainly is. However, there's a part of the game that can become tedious quickly and burn out some, if not all, of your hype meter if you're not careful. Somewhere towards the end, you'll participate in what's called Shadow Wars. Basically, you either succeed in defending one of your own fortresses that's unlocked throughout the game, or you fail and have to attack it in order to win the stage. There's quite a bit of these stages in the Shadow Wars, and it can take up to 20 to 30 minutes per siege, which may not sound so bad, but after a certain point you'll need to defend 2 to 3 regions per stage. So when you get to that point, I'd recommend taking it slow. Other than that, the rest of the game is absolutely amazing. And to add a small bit about the microtransactions, after playing throughout the entire game, I can honestly say you do not need to purchase even one loot chest to progress at any point. They help your orcs gain power, followers, etc., and of course grant you loot, but it's not necessary to complete the game. You can reach the same results just by recruiting more orcs, and making use of the Ithilden doors early on for legendary gear. And of course farming gear via the death threats, loot boosting abilities in the skill tree, and challenges provided to us throughout the world. So I would say don't let that deter you from buying the game. My way of thinking is that if the game is enjoyable without microtransactions, and I can play the whole way through without buying a single one, then it's worth it. And that's exactly the case in Shadow of War. In my opinion, Shadow of War is one of the best action RPGs I've ever played, and I definitely recommend purchasing it as soon as possible. I hope this review has helped you decide on whether or not to check out the game. And if you're new here, and if you like this video, I know it's a late review, but please consider subscribing and stay tuned for more. I'll be uploading game reviews as often as I can, however I'm on a tight schedule at work. The majority of my content may result in gameplay videos, live streams, quick gaming guides, like I've been doing. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night or day, and good. Farewell.